I'm Robert with Pursuit of Purpose, and today we have the extreme privilege and honor of having Jillian Fontenot with us. She is a young entrepreneur. She has started a company, and I'll let her tell a little bit about it. If you don't mind, just introduce yourself, like I already did, but introduce the name of your company and tell us what you do.
Yes, so my name is Jillian Fontenot, as he just said. I am the sole owner and creator of Jack and Jill's Storybook Co. We are a character entertainment and face painting company that covers all of Southeast Texas.
What inspired you to start doing that?
Well, it really is a funny story because this whole business came to me in a prophetic dream from God.
Really?
Yes.
So hold on, I've got to ask. God came to you in a dream,
Yes.
and he said, "You're gonna be a princess. You're gonna bring princesses and princes and storybook characters to people, and get paid to do it.
Yeah.
This is my mission for you." That's what he said in your dream.
Yeah, he gave me a picture, and it was me on a stage with a bunch of princesses, and then just this name, Jack and Jill Storybook Co.
Well, that's awesome.
And that was 2.5 years ago in my sophomore dorm.
So, when you wake up from this dream,
Mm-hmm.
because this in this line of work, interviewing people, talking to entrepreneurs, and everything, you're the first of this particular experience. Not that you're the first to have God inspire you to do something, but this exact method of inspiration. So, if you wouldn't mind, if you can go back to that time, what was it like when you woke up? Were you,
Yeah.
yeah, tell me how you felt. Tell me what happened.
So I was just like, so a little bit of backstory. Whenever COVID had first hit, my college was forced to shut down. We were forced to go online. I was forced to move back 7.5 hours back home, and was doing school online. And one of my good friends from high school, her pastor, was starting a princess business similar to what I do now, and asked me if I was interested. Fell in love with it. Loved the entire idea. I loved just the whole idea of the company, and just seeing the kids' faces was just so amazing. I was with her for a little over a year, and a couple things happened, and I just was like, one day I was like, God, if it's meant for me to stay with this company, show me. If it's not, show me where I'm meant to go. And that night, he gave me that dream. And I called my mom the next morning, and I was like, we're opening a business. We're starting our own business. And she was like, okay. Do we have a name for this business? I was like, God gave me a name, Jack and Jill Storybook Co. And she was like, that is so cute. And after that, she was like, okay, well, go ahead and make your logo, and I'll buy your first round of business cards. And I had told my boss at the time that I was going to be moving out on my own, and she was so supportive of it. She was like, you have the passion for this. You need to do this. This is where you're called to go to. And so she gave me my first costume, which was a Belle costume, and it was a Belle wig. And one of the girls who I was living with at a time, she was a party princess in Washington, so she had two costumes. So she brought her costumes to our college, and we went out to our college. They have a beautiful landscape. So we just went out there and took pictures of us in the princesses and announced ourselves as Jack and Jill Storybook Co. And within 2 weeks, we booked our first event.
Wow, that's fast moving stuff, right?
It was very fast. It was a daddy-daughter dance, and
Aw.
it was so fun. But that's what really made our name. And there were so many families who reached out to us who couldn't wait to book us, and it's just blossomed ever since.
That's really exciting. It really is. That's inspirational for a lot of people, I hope. And just to give you a little bit of correlation, my wife's favorite Disney princess is Belle. And, so I'm sure she's going to really be thrilled to hear this story. And I haven't had the privilege of telling my wife yet about you, since, we kind of talked about something that I'm working on for her as a surprise. So, did you have any training or theatrical experience in college or high school? Did you do anything like that?
I did a little bit of community theater in like middle school and high school. I worked with Port Arthur Little Theater. I was in a couple shows for them. Um, I was in show choir at Newland High School. I did Men and Company. I did that for 3 years. Absolutely loved it. That was so much fun. I've always been a very theatrical and very like what's the word I'm looking for? Expressive person. Yes. Whenever it comes to like my emotions and whenever it comes to like talking about anything that I'm passionate about.
Good. Yeah, you don't seem shy.
No.
You don't seem afraid. That's very good. So, just to be a little bit personal, if you don't mind,
Mm-hmm.
do you have a relationship with a significant other?
Yes, I'm currently in a relationship. We've been dating a little over 6 months now. He's a communication major at my old college.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
So how does he feel about your Jack and Jill Storybook Co?
He loves it. He is so supportive, and like every weekend I call him, and I just tell him about everything that we've done, how many kids that we've been making an impact on, and just like the stories of the kids at our parties. And he's just like, this is so amazing. I'm just so proud of you. And
That's great. And does he have any interest in getting involved? Are you going to dress him up like Spider-Man and put him to work, or how does that play out?
He's more of a tech person.
Ah.
So he's helped fix my computer many a time because my computer likes to just sticky keys or break down, and he's right there to help me fix it.
Well, good. That's good. That's good. He has his part that he specializes in, and he contributes to your cause.
Mm-hmm.
I like to hear that. So, what's your favorite thing about starting and owning your own business?
It has to be the kids' faces.
Yeah.
It is so amazing because, like, you never know what these kids are going through. You never know, like, if they're having a bad day or if someone had said something to them that made them upset. And the minute they see those characters, their eyes just light up. And we've seen it so many times. And it's just like our characters, we've said this many a times, our performers, they put their whole heart and souls into their jobs. And they could be in some of the worst pain, either in the shoes or the wigs, because the wigs can be tight on the heads.
Right.
Or they could be corseted in their dresses, things like that. Or heat. Heat is a very big thing.
Where we live, heat and humidity. Oh my gosh.
And it's like the minute they see those kids' faces, it's like a switch is flipped, and they're completely in character, and they just make those kids' days. Like, we try to make sure that we get hugs from each kid, and like every kid leaves with a smile on their face.
That's awesome. It sounds to me like you get more than you think you give.
Mm-hmm.
Like maybe you feel like you receive as much or more from your service
Yeah.
than what you're able to give.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Our mission is to make every kid's dream come true, one child at a time. And I'm going to do anything I can to make that happen.
Well, I love to hear that. That is an amazing mission, an amazing perspective and outlook on what you do. Now for the opposite of that question. What's your least favorite thing about what you do?
Cleaning the costumes.
Ah. Yeah, I can't imagine a real positive aspect to that one.
We put so much into our business, and when I say we, this job doesn't happen just by me. I mean, my mom, she's one of my biggest role models, and whenever I was up in Abilene for college, she ran this business down here for 2 years. She ran this business for me. I would book the gigs, and then she would go out to the events and everything, and I'm so thankful for her. And this wouldn't be as successful as it is without her or without any of my team members. I love and appreciate every single one of my team members who I have, and we are just continuing to grow, and the mission is just spreading so much.
That is awesome. I love how positive you are and how every aspect, even the dirty laundry, you find a positive way to see it.
Yeah.
You view doing the dirty laundry
Mm-hmm.
as a valuable aspect, a detail that you want to make sure gets done right.
Exactly.
I love that. That's an amazing thing.
Well, because
That's
like
good.
our clients pay for these characters to be there, and we want the best for our clients, and we want to make sure that like if a kid hugs a character, they're not smelling the body odor or anything like that. We want to make sure that those kids remember that, because like one of the things that like my old boss told me was at Disney they use a specific scent for every single one of the princesses, so that whenever a kid hugs them they remember that
That's
scent.
right. That's right.
And so we try to do that. So like all of our costumes, we don't spray them with anything, but I wash them in a certain detergent so that they still contain that smell.
So you've paid a lot of attention to just about every detail that a person could typically imagine.
Oh yes, I try to make sure that like we do not break the magic
That's
whenever
really
it
good.
comes to our characters.
Well, here's a big question. It's only 3 words,
Mhm.
but it's a big question. People call it that's a deep question, loaded question. Are you successful?
I would say I am successful because I am 22 years old. I'm a published cookbook author on top of my business, and I'm still going to school for a business major.
Wow. You got a full plate.
I do have a full plate. I'm also a nanny now, too.
Oh my
and
goodness.
I love it to death.
So, where do you find the time to do all these things? I'm going to speculate that what you practice doing is making time.
Yeah.
Because that's what we have to do as responsible, entrepreneurial, mental people. We plan out our day with purpose, apportioning our time accordingly to our priorities.
Yeah.
And that's what you sound like you do.
I do. I mean, whenever I'm stressed or I feel like I've just had like a weird day, I will go into my kitchen, I have a set system, and I will just start baking.
You just have a total entrepreneurial outlet. So, what, in your view, what separates a successful business/entrepreneur from a not so successful?
Someone who loves their business and loves what they're doing and puts their whole self into their business. I mean, if you want to start a business, you have to have a passion for it, and you have to know what it takes to succeed. Like there's definitely going to be steps in the way, or there's going to be stepping stones, or there's going to be challenges, and if you push through it, you're going to be successful, and it's going to pay off. And that's what we've seen. Like we've gone through dry patches where like we don't have events, but God has provided for every single thing that we've needed. We needed new costumes. He's provided for those. We needed a new wig. He's provided for that. We were looking for new business opportunities. He's provided for every single thing that we've done.
So if I'm hearing you right, what you're saying is what makes a person attain success is an absolute commitment or a definite major purpose.
Absolutely.
A direction. Focus.
A direction and a focus towards your business is what you really need to succeed.
That's amazing. And I absolutely agree with everything you said. Who's your biggest competitor?
Honestly, we are the only character entertainment company of Southeast Texas. There are about 6 businesses similar to mine in the Houston area, but we don't really cover Houston. We cover a 50-mile radius from Nederland, Texas. So we cover all of Jefferson County, some of Harrison County, and Orange County.
So what you're telling me is you created a monopoly.
Pretty much.
That's really good. So then you are your biggest competitor.
Pretty much, yes. Because I'm always challenging myself to find new things, to expand our business, to find new characters. The way how we choose new characters is if I have 3 or more requests for a certain character, I will look into getting the costume, finding the performer for it, and then we'll go from there. So like every single one of my characters has a Q&A document. So if a kid asks them a question, they know how to answer it in character. It also has the mannerisms of each character. It also has how to do the makeup for each character. Our superheroes are taught the mannerisms of each character along with our superhero training camp. So it's like superhero themed exercises that they teach the kids, and the adults love it too.
Very thorough. Very thorough. So you do have an industry that you're a part of, even though you may be the only provider in this area. What would
Party
you say?
entertainment.
Yeah. What would you say sets you apart from others who endeavor to be in your industry?
I mean, one of the biggest things for us is that we're college student ran, operated, and college and high school student employed. So we employ students up to from 16 up to 24 right now. I think our oldest is 24 on our team.
Are you going to endeavor to stay in that bracket?
I would love to stay in that bracket because this is such an amazing job for these kids, and it's just the perfect job for like first job for most kids because it's part time. They get paid very well. They also get the experience for just like improv and
Public
learning
interaction.
public interaction. Not only that, they get to be a kid. They get to act like a kid, and
They get paid to be a kid.
they get paid to be a kid, and to like hold Captain America's shield and like let the kids hold the shield, dress up as Spider-Man and go flip on top of cars.
Right. Well, that's great. I was asking that about do you plan to stay in that bracket because I mean obviously through the course of time you won't stay in that bracket.
Yeah, I graduate next summer. Well, this upcoming summer actually.
Well, that kind of segues into the next question. What's your plan? What's next? What's next for Jillian? What's next for Jack and Jill Storybook Co? How do you see this evolving, growing, building? What's next?
I mean, we are constantly growing. It all depends on where God puts us because like that's how I ended up at my college was I had never even heard of it until they sent me a postcard randomly and we went and visited and I fell in love with the campus. I was like, this is where I'm meant to be. And I was there for 4 years, loved every single minute of it, made so many amazing friends, got into the best sorority on campus, and I still am best friends with every single one of those girls. And it just has grown me as a person to expand my horizons on what we see as possible, especially for Jack and Jill Storybook Co.
Well, what about you personally? Do you have any ambitions inside for you?
Not at the moment, just because I love what I'm doing for my business. I love the entrepreneurial set of mind. I love being a baker and to see people eating my baked goods. So I would love to expand that some more and maybe like open like a pop-up shop, something like that. Because all of my recipes I make from scratch. They're my own recipes. I don't follow recipes.
Well, I'm going to challenge you a little bit
Mm-hmm.
because what I hear is that Jillian is not finished.
I'm not finished
And
at all.
you answered. I asked you. I said, "Do you have any ambitions?
Mhm.
For you personally?" And that's all I hear from you is ambition, and that's the fuel that feeds the fire to continue.
Yeah.
So, don't say no because you're eating up with it.
Mhm.
I hear you when you talk about your baking.
Yeah.
You're looking forward to people eating all your stuff
Oh yeah.
and paying you to have it.
Oh yeah.
That's ambition. That's growth. That's the future.
I mean, that's one of the main reasons why I made my cookbook. My
And see-
cookbook is made for college students. It's
Yeah.
like appetizers, main dishes, dietary restriction recipes, and desserts. It's things that you can make in the microwave, the air fryer, not just on stovetop. And it's things that people can make on a budget.
22 years old. You're already a published author.
Mm-hmm.
You have you're an aspiring baker, maybe caterer.
I've
But
catered an art show before.
so you're an author, a potential caterer,
Yeah.
and you're an entertainer.
An entertainer.
So you
yes.
have 3 businesses.
Mm-hmm.
How do you want your company to impact your industry? Your Jack and Jill Storybook Co. How do you see that?
Mm-hmm.
What legacy would your company have on that industry, if you could describe that?
I mean, that's a really hard question for me. Like, that's the one that stumps me.
Even if you can't answer it,
Mm-hmm.
I'd love to just inspire you to think of that,
Yeah.
because that's a challenge that a lot of people don't think about.
I mean, I want people to remember us for what we do, for our mission to make every kid's dream come true, to see those kids' faces, and to make sure that when we leave, those kids remember us. And we have had so many clients who have booked us again and again for their experiences that they've had with our characters. Like someone, we just got a request for a party actually for a little boy who has autism. We did his party 2 years ago. That was one of our very first Spider-Man parties, and our performer was absolutely amazing. The little boy was getting very overstimulated and laid on the floor. Spider-Man laid on the floor right next to him and played with him, and they went on the bounce house together. We got booked again for their birthday this year.
Well, why wouldn't you? Of course.
And they were so excited. I'm very excited because that just makes me feel happy that people have seen what we do and they believe in what we do, and they want to use us again. Like, we have been used again and again by the city of Beaumont for all of their public events. Like, we're going to be at the Oktoberfest event coming up October 7th.
In Rogers Park.
Yep, we're going to have Rapunzel, Spider-Man, and face painting out there.
Well, the question that I had asked, and you did great. You actually got to it better than you think you did. Was what impact would you leave on your industry? And if I could, I'm going to try to paraphrase that a little bit, break it down into smaller terminology.
Yeah.
It sounds to me like you want to bring integrity to your industry.
I do.
You want people to know that you provided this type of an entertainment with the storybook characters and the fantasy, but you did it with sincerity and a genuine heart, like complete integrity. Yeah. You want these kids to believe in the fantasy and take it with them. And
there's been so many times where we'll show up at parties and people are and kids will be like, "That's not the real person. That's someone in a costume." And they'll leave and they're like, "Bye, Belle, Cinderella."
Yeah.
And they had completely believed in the fantasy. That just makes me feel so special, and that makes our performers feel so special as well. We remember those kids. I remember every single one of our kids that we've had.
And see, probably a lot of the people in your industry, if not most, just do it as a job. Mm-hmm. The workers are there and they put on the costume and they're, okay, I'm going to do this again, and they go do their thing, and then they take the costume off. Mm-hmm. And they go back to being whoever they were before. Mm-hmm. But your people, it sounds like they assume the identity of that role, and they really mean it.
And they love it whenever we get booked for parties. We'll get out of parties and we'll just tell stories of interactions that we've had with guests, and some of the stories are so funny, but they just help us to continue our mission and continue keeping up that magic and continue making the interactions with our guests.
That's beautiful. But where do you see your company, the company itself, in 10 years?
Growing more than I can ever imagine. I would love to expand because we had 2 branches of our business. One was in my college town, but unfortunately, whenever I moved away and moved back down here, we had to close that branch down. I would love to open more branches because that just expands our horizons, that expands how many more kids we can make an impact on.
Kind of sounds to me like you're wanting to build a franchise opportunity.
I think I do.
Well, I think there's a lot of people that would have interest in that.
Oh, absolutely.
With the model that you're building and the plan that you're setting up, mm-hmm. I think you could implement that elsewhere. You could design that to where it would be able to be replicated.
Yeah.
And that's impressive. That's mm-hmm. really good. Where do you see yourself, not the company, I'm talking about Jillian, mm-hmm. In the next 5 years? I know you got to finish college.
Yep. I'll finish college. I'll probably still be running Jack and Jill's Storybook Co. We may have a storefront. I've already been envisioning this. I can literally see it clearly in my head. So I'm just it's coming. It's coming for sure.
I believe it will. I believe it will. So, what do you look for in an employee?
We look for someone who has a passion, especially for working with kids, because that is the whole job.
How do you identify that?
If they have experience, especially working with childcare, especially at their churches, Some of our staff are like people from my church, youth students from my church, and one of the main things for that, they have to volunteer Sundays or Wednesdays with the kids. And so I look for that interaction, and I watch them and see how they interact with the kids. Also, if they have a theater background, some of our staff does not have theater backgrounds, but they are absolutely amazing, and their improv is so amazing whenever it comes to that. We also look for someone who has availability on weekends, because that's whenever we mainly do bookings, is on the weekends. This weekend we have 6 bookings alone.
Busy time of year.
We have officially hit busy season. We are fully booked for this weekend, the final week of September, and all of October. We have at least 3 events every single weekend of October.
Do you work during the weeks?
I do, mainly just on management.
Are you in need of employees right now?
I am. I need male employees for sure. We have a lot of superhero parties coming up, and I only have one guy at the moment.
So you're looking for males, age
16.
8. Do they have to be athletic?
No, they don't have to be athletic. Our Captain America, our Batman, and our Flash costume all have their muscle suits. It's like they already have the muscles already made on them.
I mean, what if they're not flexible? Like, what if they can't jump? What if can a guy that...
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, for Spider-Man, we do require a little bit of flexibility, because, like, you have to crouch. You have to make sure that you can...
pretend to climb the wall.
Or pretend to climb a truck bed. Things
Whatever,
like that.
yeah. Make it real.
Yes.
So how would someone, if they see this broadcast podcast and they want to become a part of your company, how would they do that?
Yeah, so they can either reach me via email, jackandjillstorybookco@gmail.com, or they can just go to our website, jackandjillstorybookco.com, and they can just it'll send me an email notification that they're interested in being hired for us. The next step is we sit down for an interview. I just go over some information with them, and then we do a costume try-on to see what costumes they can fit into and what characters I feel like they would be best fit for. And then after that, if everything's good, then we send them a link to a Google Drive, and that contains our Q&A documents, that contains all of the information and materials they need to succeed.
That's awesome. So are you typically in need of employees? It's a pretty common thing, like you most of the time need people?
With males, yes.
Okay.
Females, I have plenty of girls, and they love it to death, and they're always sending me some of their friends to come and join us as well. We are very family oriented whenever it comes to our employees. Especially like whenever it comes to like the parties where like it's a superhero or it's a princess or it's 2 princesses that aren't supposed to know each other. We want to make sure that they have that connection, and we're not breaking that magic that they don't know each other.
Who is your ideal customer?
It would have to be a parent who is looking to make their kid's birthday special, really, or a company who is looking to make their event special. So like we do face painting, we can theme the face paint to the theme of their event. And if they give me like a logo, maybe we can come up with a design that fits their logo as well.
So what you're saying is that you put your creativity behind every party. You try to make everything custom as much as possible to meet the desires of your customer.
Absolutely. And something that we offer that's not as mainstream as our parties is we do these things called magical moments. They are 1-minute cameo videos from a character of your choice, just wishing your child either a happy birthday or a happy Halloween or something like that. And parents can book that, and they tell us about like 3 certain things about their kids, and the characters will mention that in the videos.
So you put a little production value into it and make it
we make it a very
thing.
big deal. And like those kids, will watch those videos over and over
That's
and
awesome.
over again. And we have three special kids of Jack and Jill Storybook Co. They're our official kids of Jack and Jill Storybook Co. Grayson um, has officially beat cancer, but whenever we had first heard his story about 2 years ago, uh, I reached out to his mom and I was like, hey, my name is Jillian Fontenot. I'm with Jack and Jill Storybook Co. We would love to send Grayson a message of encouragement. And so she sent me a list of like his favorite superheroes. And so I gathered a Batman, a Captain America, and a Spider-Man. And they filmed a video for him of just encouragement and just like, you've got this, Grayson. We can't wait to see you. We can't just make sure to practice your web shooters. And his mom sent me a video back of him watching the video in his hospital bed.
Aww.
And she was like, he hasn't stopped watching this and he's practicing his web shooters. And I'm like, that makes my day so much more special. And we have their other two kids are two little princesses, Maddie and Mia. We absolutely love them to death. These Maddie is recovering from cancer. She is so powerful and so strong, especially for her age. And what really drew me to her, especially, was I'd seen this picture of this little girl in a yarn Elsa wig. And I was like, oh my God, I have to do something. I have to reach out to her mom. And so I reached out to her and she told me all of her favorite princesses. Well, that weekend we had at least 3 birthday parties with all of these different princesses and superheroes. And so they all sent her a message of encouragement. And she absolutely loved it. And the mom was so thankful for it. We actually got to meet both Grayson and Mia thanks to the Circle of Hope. And Grayson got initiated into the Jack and Jill Storybook Co. Hall of Fame. And we made him a cape with his initial on it. And so he still has that to this day.
That is awesome.
It is just so amazing. And I love giving back to that community because, like, those kids, they go through so much and they don't know what's going on.
No. And they're so strong.
They are so strong. And, like, we want to make sure that they have a day where they can be a kid. They can run around and play with Spider-Man. Or they can go have a makeover with Elsa and Anna and go jump in a bounce house with them.
Well, I hope that you never lose that. That goes with you in all of your endeavors. The desire to keep that community involved in everything you do.
Absolutely.
I commend you for that.
Thank you.
Yes. At some point in time, I'll reveal more about my family's history with that. We have deep, close, personal connection to what the things you were just talking about. But if you could go back in time, and thank you for sharing all of that. You're bringing tears to my eyes. If you could go back in time and talk to yourself, I mean, I normally ask people when they were younger, but for you, I mean, it's, yesterday. If you could go back in time and talk to yourself, let's say when you were in high school, let's think about the 17-year-old you, all of yesterday. And if you could go back in time and give yourself some advice, talk to yourself before you started this company.
Yeah.
What would you tell yourself?
One of the main things I would tell myself is that it does get better. You do make friends. You do find the right people who love and support you. And you do find the right place for yourself. Whenever I graduated from high school, I was originally going for vocal music education. I was going to be an elementary music teacher. And I fell in love with it because music has had such a big impact on my life.
Right.
And I just wanted to give that back to these kids because music can make a kid's day. And music is such a big thing, especially in this day and age. There's so many different genres of music, and there's so many ways that you can portray and just share your emotions through music. And it doesn't have to be just vocal. Like, even instrumentalists, they feel the same way.
Mm-hmm.
And I did that for 4 years. And I was just like struggling to get through it. And it was hard. But then God finally gave me a sign, and He was like, this is where you're meant to be. You're meant to go back to the town that you wanted to get away for so long, and you're going to make a mission for yourself. And that's exactly what I'm doing. And I've only been back since May. So one of the things that like I would tell myself is like, if you can dream it, you can do it. Like I love that. I was always a big baker. Baking has always been a big stress reliever for myself. And I have always been a huge lover for Disney, for superheroes. I mean, my Sweet 16 was superhero themed. And I made every single piece of just like party decor for my Sweet 16. And it was just, that is just like, your passions are gonna come true.
So what advice would you give to aspiring entrepreneurs, your counterparts out there in the world, who may have not overcome their fear yet or faced it in any way, and they have this inner desire to do more than they're doing, or to do something that they're just afraid, or whatever? What would you tell them? How would you tell them to start? What would you tell them to encourage them?
I would say find a good connection system, especially with local businesses in your area, because they're the people who can help you grow your business and find the right resources to help you grow and to succeed. Especially in this day and age, connections are the biggest way to get your name out there. Because like that's the reasons why I go to these Greater Beaumont Chamber of Commerce business connections meetings every single Friday morning at 8 a.m. I go there so that I can make connections with local businesses and to get my name out there. But not only that, I'm making a personal connection with them so that they remember my face, and that if they have someone who's looking for something, they have my card. They have my information. They can do that.
That's right.
And they can contact me.
Absolutely. Everybody, this is Jillian Fontenot with Jack and Jill Storybook Co. Where can they find you if they want to be your customer?
Yeah, so you can either contact us through our website, you can email me, or you can call me on my personal phone number, 409-540-8422.
And I'm Robbie with Pursuit of Purpose. And Jillian, thank you for letting us become a part of the pursuit of your purpose.